George Mitchell was the founder of Cadillac. He was a Civil War veteran. He was a hero. He was a timber seeker after the war was over, and he made his way north. The Grand Rapids and Indiana Railroad arrived at about that same time, a little bit later than George did, and that was the year of the Great Michigan Fire, which cut a swath across Michigan from Port Huron and Saginaw on the east to Holland and Manistee in the west. Took out a lot of the lumber producing areas, burned a lot of the wood, it burned some of the mills. And so George found himself in Cadillac in an area of very tall pines needed for construction. If you go out 1 or 2 miles from all points around the two lakes, you cover an awful lot of forest. I think it was in the teens or 20s, they had a contest to name the lakes. So the one that he settled, Little Clam Lake, was named Lake Cadillac, and Big Clam Lake was named after George Mitchell, Lake Mitchell. He noticed that the westerly winds prevail. He also noticed that there's a very strong current going through, and when he saw the water going out the Clam River, he noted that that would be very easy to float the logs across. So the second year he was here, he blocked off an area and then dredged the current canal. That was the shortest distance between the two lakes other than the Black Creek. That allowed him to start serious cutting and to get his logs down to the mills, and he had to establish the mills fast. After 1 year, their population in Cadillac reached about 1,500. George Mitchell put his sawmill down southeast corner of the lakes. Cadillac has an elevation higher than most of the other areas, and it's just perfect for red pine. Red pine is construction lumber. And with the fires happening all over, particularly with Chicago burning, they needed that red pine to rebuild. Cobbs and Mitchell Mill was the largest flooring plant in the world within a very few years. It was good for flooring and also for construction lumber. There's several trains that would come up. They'd come up from Grand Rapids. We had 2 or 3 steamboats on Lakes Cadillac and Mitchell, and some of them would pull scows behind them, areas that would have dancing and music and food. There was a period when we were producing so much lumber that as many as 15 to 20 trains a day would come into Cadillac and leave. People really used the trains. Once you had the trains there, it was very nice. One of the great things about George Mitchell's decision, and I'm not sure he had this in his mind, was that he preserved this beautiful area that we have between the lakes, and they made it, contributed it to the state park system. So we got a nice state park there now, and it's a big draw because it's people can camp, they can put their boats on the canal where it's protected from those severe storms and things, and they can go to both lakes. It's good fishing in both lakes. But this lake, you can do everything on our lakes. You can fish, you can swim, you can canoe, you can ice boat, sail. Boats have been made here since way back, different categories. The first major national company that set here was probably the Chris Craft, and they set up in 1941, and they were pleasure boats. There was a Cadillac Boat Company, and then 2 or 3 others until the Four Winds came along. I think Cadillac is best known for its recreation, where you can go out in hundreds of thousands of acres of unspoiled forest and lakes and rivers, and good fishing and good canoeing and great skiing at CAVB. So many of these outdoor sports, this has become a very serious destination. There's a big acreage north of the camp across the canal behind the hunting and fishing center that has some wonderful trails in it. Most of them are elevated on wood walkways. What was going on in this town in terms of the production of the factories, the activity that was going on, the tourism. Those are the glory days, and we have some wonderful opportunities in our village, in our town now, to show those and show the history through our museum that's in one of the best Carnegie libraries that was ever built in Michigan. And it's a very user-friendly museum. We get a lot of people here, and we have a historic homes district, and we have lots of guides in the museum that we can give to you, so you can walk through the district and learn a little bit about the homes. We have a file on virtually every home in the district, so you can read the history of it. It's a destination. It's one of the very few places I know, and I've been in a lot of places, where you can meet the interest of just about anybody with the natural resources we have around here, with our great history and the way it's displayed. A town of exceptionally friendly people, and it's had that reputation for a long time. And so I'd hope that people would seriously consider coming to Cadillac, Michigan, and enjoying our community.